Hi traders, hope you're doing well. Welcome to my video on the Elliot Wave EA, which is an expert advisor that I've developed for the MT4 and MT5 trading platforms. Please help yourself to a copy by using a link in the description below. So in this video, I'm just going to run through the EA, the various settings that it has, and the ways in which you can implement it within your own trading strategy. So as I said, it's available for MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5. Here we have the MT4 platform. Got the strategy tester window opened with the Elliot Wave EA selected there. The symbol, I've got the euro dollar selected. You can use this EA on any trading instruments, so Forex, stocks, commodities, cryptos, indices, etc. For the testing model, I've selected every tick. You can use open prices only, which I think we will to begin with, simply because the EA does use open prices when it comes to entry and exits. However, when you're fine-tuning the settings, you're going to want to switch over to every tick, as this will contain intra-bar prices, which can make the testing much more reliable. Even then, the MT4 strategy tester is the default modeling quality you can get is 90%. You can get 99% modeling quality by using third-party software, which will also allow you to test with real variable spreads, include commissions, slippage, tick data with certain timestamps, so on and so forth. MT5 comes with a lot of these features by default, so you can always test on that platform as well. Regardless, you're still going to be using the historical data, so of course backtest results are by no means any guarantee of what will happen moving forward. Enough waffling. The Elliot Wave EA, as the name suggests, is based on the Elliot Wave pattern. Under the expert properties, you can choose if you want to enter a reversal or breakout of the Elliot Wave. The trade point, so the 4th or 5th point, you can choose from, along with the depth, deviation, backstep. And if you want to display the text on your chart as well, you have the option there. So that's the entry criteria you can choose from there. If we just have a brief look at the other settings, I'm going to run through them for you now. So the expert name, this is the name that's displayed on your account statement. What your broker will see. Pop-up alerts, if you have pop-up alerts set to true, you'll receive an alert when there's a signal, depending on the charts that you're running the EA on. This is handy. Perhaps you want to track multiple charts at the same time. Don't want to be switching between them manually. You can have, for instance, 20 charts open and simultaneously track them for Elliott wave signals, and you receive a pop-up alert, for example, euro dollar 1 hour chart buy signal, and you can just go to the relevant chart and act accordingly. Email alerts and SMS alerts are the same. However, you get the alerts via email or SMS. This is handy if you're away from your platform and you want to receive an alert. Then fire up your charts and have a look, see if you would like to take a position or not. You can also use it for managing positions. Perhaps you've already got an open position and you want an Elliott wave signal to decide if it's maybe time to exit or adjust your stop loss and take profit levels, maybe a trailing stop as well. Use trading. If you set use trading to true, the EA can actually place and manage trades on your behalf, and you have trade short or trade long options. It's worth mentioning that you can combine these, so you can have use trading set to true as well as pop-up alerts set to true, or if you had, let's say, email alerts true, use trading true, you'd receive an alert if the EA had placed a trade, and you know, okay, there's been a trade placed, let me open up my platform and have a look, make sure it's a good trade and manage it, depending on your own money management strategy from there. So it can be a good way to use it in a semi-automated manner as well. Okay, so days filter, self-explanatory. This is the days of week that you wish to trade. Hours filter, again, self-explanatory. These are the hours. Perhaps you want to trade a particular trading session, maybe the London session, New York, Sydney, Tokyo, perhaps the overlap of the New York and London session, if you're looking for more liquidity depending on what you are trading. Magic number, so this is the order ID that's sent with the buy and sell trades, set to 1 and 2 by default. This is handy if perhaps you're running other EAs on the same account, you don't want them to clash with each other. I do have numerous free EAs you can help yourself to. This one included, link in the description. So under the broken settings here, we've got maximum spread and maximum slippage. These are values in pips in which the EA will not send a signal or place a trade if the spread or slippage is greater than these values. This is to help prevent trading in unfavorable market conditions. Open orders limit, the maximum number of open and or open buy and or open sell trades at any time, set to 1 by default so you don't get duplicate trades. Lots. So if you're using trading, you can set the lot size that you wish for the EA to trade with. Keep in mind, if you have a user risk set to false, the EA will use the lot size set in the lots field. If you have a user risk set to true, okay, the EA will calculate the lot size depending on the risk percent that you put here in the risk percent field. Set to 2% by default. Stop loss and take profit. So again, self-explanatory. The stop loss and take profit values you like to send with the order. I'm not too keen on fixed take profit levels. If I put that at 0, I wouldn't mind, simply because if we just look at potential trades, what do we have here? Okay, so we have a breach of that trend line to the downside. Okay, we've got resistance here. And could have perhaps looked to have traded at the breakout here of this support level. Okay, then the price came back up. This support then became resistance. We had a nice continuation to the downside. Okay, if we would have traded this reversal and had 100 pip stop loss, sorry, 100 pip take profit, okay, it may have been a good exit there, but still there could be more left in the tank. So in this instance, I would have just been moving my stop loss above the high, above the high, above the high, and just to try to maximize a good trade when we get in it as much as possible. Of course, you can use money management depending on your own needs, whether you're scalping, day trading, swing trading. So you can adjust those in the EA settings. Stop loss, the same thing. Say it was set to 50 by default and we were in this scenario, we took that reversal trade there. A 50 pip stop loss would be all the way up here. Wouldn't be necessary for me. I'd put it above the swing high over here, which is only 15 pips, which is not bad for the 1 hour chart at all. Means we can get a really good risk to reward ratio. Okay, but I guess having the fixed stop loss and take profit levels are good if you're not going to be around your machine and you just want something put in place. Close and opposite signal, self-explanatory. Again, if you have this set to true when there's opposite signal, trade will be closed. So if you have a buy trade open, there's a sell signal, it'll close the buy trade and vice versa. Break even, trail and stop. If you set the break even to true, the EA will move the stop loss to break even when this distance in pips is reached. Use trail. If you set the trailing stop to true, the EA will trail the stop loss by this distance trailing gap each time it's reached. Okay, and then close percent. You can close the percentage of the order each time the trailing gap distance is reached until there's only the minimum lot close left. So let's just say you were closing 25% of the order until there were 0.2 lots left. The EA will keep closing 25%, and then you'd have until you had 0.2 lots, and it would just let those, it wouldn't close anymore. Still use the trading gap, but without closing the position. Elliot Wave, as we discussed, these are the entry and exit criteria you can choose from. Okay, so that's the EA settings. As I said, I prefer using it in a semi-automated manner. You might want to look for, I don't know, say we were in this scenario, you can see the resistance up here. You can see this trend line. You've got a nice wedge formation breakout to the downside there. Got an M pattern, a breakout. This support line then becomes resistance up here. 3 inside down pattern. Okay, 3 inside down pattern there. We've got bearish inverted hammers. Another 3 inside down pattern. You've got lots of bearish signals there. Pure price action trading, we can see that. And then in this instance, we may just want to get sell signals based on the Elliot Wave EA. Okay, so you can always just set, trade short to true, or even in here, you can choose your trade direction as well. But in the semi-automated manner, I think you can get the best out of it rather than just take in buy and sell signals willy-nilly. Okay, so optimization, basically you can, in the MT4 and MT5 strategy test, you can optimize the various settings to see what may or may not have worked historically speaking, with the limitations, of course, of backtesting that we discussed at the start of the video. So for optimization, if we just set use trading to true, we're not going to optimize the days or the hours, but we will optimize. First, we'll test with one standard lot, and we'll test a stop loss of 25 pips, up 25 pips, and we'll stop at 50 pips. So this will test a stop loss of 25 and 50, because we're starting at 25, we're going up in 25 increments, and we're stopping at 50. Take profit, I think we'll optimize that from 0. We'll go up in 100 and we'll stop at 300. So that will optimize a stop loss, take profit of 0, 100, 200, and 300. Close opposite signal, we can optimize that, true or false. Break even, we can optimize that, true or false. Break even point, let's say 25, 25, and 25, 25, and 50. Trailing stop, true or false, and trailing gap, 25, 25, 50. Close percent, we'll close either 0, 25, or 75%. Minimum lot to close, let's just say 0.2, 0.25, 0.25, and we'll stop at 1.25. So what we're doing here is we're choosing settings that we want to test. Everything here with a check, with the tick here, is we're going to test the different combinations. Okay, so it's an optimization. We'll try reversal or breakout, true or false, true or false. For this we can go 6, 6, I should say 36, deviation 5, 5, 20, back step, let's go 3, 3, 12, okay. And we can just leave display texts false because we don't want that for back testing now. In this optimization tab, you can choose if you only want to receive results that meet these requirements. For example, maximal drawdown. If you want a specific maximal drawdown there, you can choose any of these. I leave these unchecked just because I want to see results good and bad, so I know what works and what doesn't. Under the testing tab, you can choose your deposit for testing with trade direction, the parameter you want to optimize for. Always leave it on balance. And genetic algorithm. If you have genetic algorithm unchecked, okay, the strategy tester will do every single combination, which can take a long time depending on how many settings you've chosen to optimize, the time frame you're optimizing, the data, how far you're going back in terms of data, as well as your computer machine, your computer power. If you have genetic algorithm checked, what the strategy tester does is it sort of throws away combinations of settings it deems don't produce good results, which can speed things up significantly. And I think it does a good job of doing that. So I always leave that checked. Click OK. So we've chosen euro dollar, open prices only, past year. For the time frame, let's go 1 hour charts. Click optimization, that button there, and then click start. So now we'll run an optimization. And then what will happen is we'll start to get the results from using the different combinations of settings, and we can see how they would have performed historically speaking. Okay, so now we have this optimization finished. If we just click on optimization results, you can see the results using the different combinations of settings here. You can sort them by profit, number of trades, profit factor, expected payoff, and drawdown in monetary or percentage values. So we sort by profit. If you double click any of these settings, what we do is load them into the EA inputs for you, and then you can click start to run an individual backtest. Casino, the best graph in the world. You can always just go through the settings until you find something that you like the look of. This is quite a rough test, to be fair. Could have probably put a bit more thought into the settings we selected. Nonetheless, let's try 4 hour charts and just run an optimization on that. So basically, I'm just trying to show you here what can happen with optimizations. If we just find a decent set file to come through, so just let this run here. Again, doing all the different combinations of settings. Got my profit. Okay, we'll let that run. Let's see what's coming through. Okay, seems like we peaked, so we'll just stop that. Let's choose the top by profit, double click here. We can run the individual test. Okay, not terrible. You can always go back as well further. You can test over more data. Let's try the daily chart this time. It's just a way to optimize different settings and see what the different results may have been, historically speaking. Okay, as I said, there are limitations to the MT4 and MT5 strategy tester. And nonetheless, it can give you a rough idea on the different settings, and you can, stumble across some good sets. That one's not too bad. However, what this is really over optimization or curve fitting, when you're basically throwing as many settings together as possible just to see what produces good results. Okay, so if we double click that, we can get that set file. It looks decent, but if we go back another 2 years, we run the same set file. Okay, it's not bad actually. So let's go back another 2 years. Usually what happens is if you over optimize, you get good results based on the data set that you were using. Okay, so you'll find that if you optimize enough settings, regardless of the symbol or the time frame or the dates, you will stumble across the good combinations of settings. The problem with this is it's just been over optimized or curve fitted to the data that you are using. So just be wary of that when back testing, and try to use settings that have some logic behind them. And as I said, I would prefer to use an EA like this in a semi-automated manner. So, if you're watching the markets for opportunities, you can just use the EA to send you alerts. For example, in this scenario here with this uptrend, okay, you may have been watching this and wanted to enter on a reversal, sell at the high. So you would have seen, okay, prices reached a resistance point. You've got a nice wedge formation here. Okay, we're making lower highs here. This trend line, up, breakout of the trend line, then that trend line was support, becomes resistance here. And around here, you've got lots of bearish candlestick patterns. You've got an inside bar there, 3 inside down there. Okay, you've got a bearish inverted hammer there and there. So there's lots of bearish signals here. So you could have received an alert for the Elliot Wave EA to give you a signal to enter on this downward trend here. There are many ways in which you can use the EA. Obviously, each trade is different, whether you're scalping, day trading, or swing trading. Make sure you use the EA in a way that works for you. And of course, as always, a demo test to begin with. Please help yourself to a free copy using the link in the description below. Hopefully you found something useful in this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.